Alexa, volume 5. Alexa, volume 4.
And the Sexolettes featuring Marty Rock III and with you. Number 33. Here's a debut song that debuts higher than any other. Coming in at 33, the Captain and Tennille, a husband and wife team. Love will keep us together.
Love will keep us together. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's kind of sad. Yeah, for the individual and those around them as well. It's pretty bad.
Tennille at number 33 with a song written by Neil Sedaka and Howard Greenfield. Love will keep us together as the countdown rolls on. The hits from coast to coast.
Cashback is not available on yes, Jersey, Wisconsin.
Mike, your gas light's on. We need to stop this alarm.
Well, it's made on your
Consider this, sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside.
Do you live under a rock, Mike? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cashback for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BEND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses, plus free delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life sleep.
What's a booster? Somebody that steal clothes from the store and sell it at a discount price? That's like a real service.
Starring Keke Palmer, I Love Boosters is the must-see comedy of the summer. From Boots Riley, director of Sorry to Bother You, comes a hype unlike anything you've seen before.
Come on, let's take off.
Critics are hailing I Love Boosters as wildly hilarious, and the Devil Wears Prada meets Set It Off.
You say it's up? It's up. We go hard.
I Love Boosters, rated R, now playing in theaters. Get tickets now.
If you missed any of American Top 40 or want to hear it again, listen Monday night at 7 for an encore presentation of American Top 40 of the 70s on Seacoast Oldie.
American Top 40. Here are a couple of guys who grew up in Texas, make their home in Los Angeles. Seals and Crofts. They've had a few biggies. Summer Breeze, Hummingbird, Diamond Girl. The last one was...
Senator Susan Collins secured over $87 million.
I'll play for you. At number 32, Seals and Crofts.
Good morning to you all. My name is Colin McDonald, Assistant Attorney General for the National Fraud Enforcement Division at the Department of Justice. I am joined today by a lineup
I was a dreamer, not a realist. They say keep dreaming, son, because you'll never be the illest. Now I'm a mix between a realist and a dreamer. I drive a piece of shit, but I'm still dreaming of a beamer. I sat here long enough, like I was an abandoned building, walking a tightrope in this world, trying to provide for my children. This world's in recession, bringing me to depression. So meet me at the studio for a 3-hour session to release some aggression. The microphone's a healer, music on my weapons, and I am the killer. If music were drugs, then I'd be the dealer. If my rhymes were Sir Lawrence, I'd be the griller, the chiller. And sat here long enough, it's time to lash out. Quit fucking around with all this garbage, time to take the trash out. Walk through the fire, and I get cooled off by rain. And if anybody tries to bring me down, I will get up again and keep grinding. Some people say that they will never be heard. Speak a little louder, or they'll never hear your word. It's okay, yeah. They're probably not listening anyway. icon. The only time my soul breathes easy is when my mic's on. Spitting truth over beats equals the right song. Therapeutic, retributed through the veins in my arms. My infrastructure, pessimistic through history. Once conceived, 9 months of mystery. Proof for birth, 4 different certificates. Different dates for different bodies, same face. My eyes see through the breach, belief was a reach. My mom's bled for safety, married to a leech. My confidence was shut down. Standing on the road to love and got run down. Surrounded by mannequins posing threats. 3 times in 2 weeks I was close to death. Forever playing the game of life with just these rules. Listen, some people say that they will never be heard. Speak a little louder, or they'll never hear your words. It's okay, yeah. They're probably not listening anyway, yeah. Speak a little louder. 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 Speak a little louder.
When did life get real? Maybe when that little blue line appeared.
We're starting a family.
Or when you first brought her home. Maybe it was when you started living it 20 hours a day.
Daddy is sleeping because Daddy is weak.
Or during the 100th diaper change.
Oh, wow.
Or when you finally decided to go out.
I think Glenn will do it.
With up to 12 hours of leak protection, when life gets real.
Hey, rascals.
Susan Collins, charade is over. We don't care that you pretend to be remorseful at the start of a new forever war that you chose to let happen. We don't care that you are concerned while we go broke as you sell us out to the president and to the Epstein class, who are engineering the greatest redistribution of wealth from the working class to the ruling class in this nation's history. Symbolic opposition doesn't reopen hospitals. Weak condemnations don't bring back Roe v. Wade. And selling out the same working class voters who've delivered mandate for change after mandate for change is not forgivable. A performative politics that enables the destruction of our way of life is disqualified as a United States Senator. I am running because it is time for change. I'm Graham Clapper, and I approve this message.
I'm on that overload, overkill. I'm redlining, I'm blue pills, high octanes, my intake. I'm P. Swayze, man, point break. Make no mistakes, I don't care. Not one shit will be given here. Make the room shake, earthquake, turbulence, outer space, yeah, let it go. Cruise control, full speed ahead with my eyes closed. I smoke the best, just hydro. Make my eyes red like Diablo. I'm taking out, next to go. While I top, set the glow. These crimson eyes, I set the glow. Medieval shit, man, crossbows, we dangerous. Beast mode, got catapults, full of bags of dope. That's set in stone, good to go. Found my zone in the Alamo, yeah, big time. Dinosaur, so big, colossal. You stuck in dirt, man, fossil. We take it out, full throttle, let's go.
In the woods, put teeth in the meat, like he's rocking a hood with the clothes of a sheep, and I wish you would try to find me like you wish you could. Roll real deep and it's understood. We getting real fucked up and I'm feeling real good. Gotta carry me home Underwood. Nice on a mic like a knife to the boat. Nights real high cause the bass real low. Right with your side when you fight with a bloke. Watch where you bite cause you might just choke. Dead man walking into the rope. If I hit this one more time then I might just blow. You're a dirty head, you're filthy, bro. Fuck it, then someone give me this. Up in the floor with it. Fake down order, rock the performance, top of the more to you. Really over the top of the score like pins in the door, man. I'll go to war for you. These crazy lights, these lazy nights, I'm afraid go high. Got me yelling at the skylight.
Clear the bone, no stale smoke. Lungs open like a ship sail. Mutiny when you double toke. My boot hits like a drum kick. No two shits, do I give a fuck? My crew thick like a fat bitch. She's hungry, full get eaten up. You a stepping stone, we walking tall. Footprints down the hall. Knock down, we stand up. We party hard, get your hands up. We place up, we smoke you out. Mind trap, we broke you out. There's an undertone, don't hesitate. We low calorie, we medicate. In my zone, it's sucker free. You're that bitch, it sucks to be. When the doctor's in, it's about y'all. Remember this, there's no house call. My door's open with the nurse waiting. Sexy bitch bringing my first patient. Hard racing, paper chasing. I'm Bruce Wayne and your Dick Grayson.
Eczema is unpredictable, but you can flare less with Epclis.
I'm tired, I'm restless, I've already said this. I might need a medic. I'm trapped in these mornings without you. Mornings without you, yeah. I'm more than just nervous with walls on the surface. I know that you've heard this. I just want a morning here with you. A morning here with you. Yeah. On the road, I know where to run to when it gets harder. No one can find us under the water. Slowly sinking down. But while I'm thinking, you keep reaching, never let me drown. You show me I'm worth it, no one is perfect. We all have a purpose, and mine is to love this life with you. To love this life with you. On the road, nowhere to run to when it gets harder. To
souls in the starlit night. Don't let go, cause it don't feel right. Yeah, I hear you calling. I'm calling back now. The rain is falling. Under the rock tower. Nowhere to run to when it gets harder. No one can find us under the water. Nowhere to run to when it gets harder. No one can find us under the water. Sharing a breath under the hurricane. No one can find us under the water. No one can find us under the water. No, no.
Residential homes, engaging experiences within the community, a supportive work environment. At Northeast Residential Services, we serve and support individuals.
Said I really wanna go outside today. Said I really wanna get real high today. So please don't get in my vibe today. So please don't get in my eyes today. See the world in a handstand upside down. See the world from a handstand sky to ground. To hate, I'm allergic. Fake on the burden. Pray to the virgin. You're not a version of what you purchased. You are the birth of now. I pray for my verses to hit the surface. Kiss on an angel's ground. Louis Armstrong in a lane. Got a bad bitch, give me better rated at a James. I'ma do one thing, man, singing in the rain. I don't make claims, you can put it on my name. It's a wonderful world. Fucking diamonds and pearls. They don't understand love is beautiful. Make them understand life is beautiful. It's a wonderful world. Fucking diamonds and pearls. Doing it. We climbing the boat and we're moving it. Taking a ladder and moving it. It's a beautiful life and I'm proving it. I feel that it feels when you know it's good. I've been as high as I ever should. I done some things that were misunderstood, but I feel it's all good, man, like anyone would. I gotta do what I gotta do. Cause I got a plan and a rendezvous. And people sometimes they don't understand. And these are the fuckers with attitude. And I ain't got time for foolishness. And no, I would never apologize. Cause people out there, they get ruthless. And then I get upset and they wonder why I'm taking off. Get off of my runway. If I rub you the wrong way, then run away. I'm on the hunt for some sunny days. This X marks the spot where my money lays. It's a beautiful life and I'm loving it. I thought I forgot just what loving is. But I'm out here and I'm proving it. Cause most of y'all will just never go through with it. Come on. It's a wonderful world. Fucking diamonds and pearls. They don't understand what we're living for. Make them understand life is beautiful. It's a wonderful world. Fucking diamonds and pearls. Make them understand life is beautiful. It's a wonderful, it's a wonderful.
Fam, been sensing a shift. Like, your old self's been about for a bit too long. Just breathe it in. You're already on the move. That static, can leave it down there, bro. You're built for further than this. Unknow yourself. Lighten your load. Free your feet. See who you are without the noise.
Got it.
It Cosmetics CC Foundation has 7 benefits in one tube, and what once was a 7 in
on the wall. I'm in the water, so don't even call. Yeah, they say I'm lazy, but it takes all my time. I think it's crazy that I turned out just fine. I get in trouble, but I just make the call. My manager, he comes take care of it all. Yeah, life's been good to me. 2 bottles of booze got me screaming Happy New Year in the middle of June, man. It's been good to me, shouldn't complain, but sometimes I do, cause it comes with the fame. They say I'm crazy, but I have a good time. Life's been good to me so far. My black and Paula goes 85. I lost my license too high when I drive. I got a beach house, got records on the wall. I'm in the water, so don't even call.
Well, life's been good to me, manifest destiny. Life's been bad to me, but it doesn't have to be. You need both with the comedy and tragedy. One smile, one frown, it's a masterpiece. On islands, eyelids are off grid. Blue screens, not blue dreams, I dive in. No cop, yeah, I am the top 10. Please have a seat on my frenzy when I win.
They say I'm crazy, but I have a good time. Life's been good to me so far. My black and Paula goes 85. I lost my license too high when I drive. I got a beach house, gold records on the wall. I'm in the water, so don't even call. Life's been good to me so far. Life's been good to me so far, yeah. Life's been good to me so far. Life's been good to me so far, yeah. My black and Paula goes 85. I lost my license too high when I drive. I got a beach house, gold records on the wall. I'm in the water, so don't even call. I go to parties down by the shore. It's hard to leave when you can't find the door. It's tough to handle this fortune and fame. They say I'm different, I haven't changed.
Did we really need one of the most iconic directors to film a simple tour? Of course we did. We are Patron. When we do things, we do them right. No shortcuts. Just perfect. And did Guillermo need to bring his crew of skeletons? Of course he did. Like us, he never compromises. Patron. Simply perfect.
What I love most about Man of the People, I have never met a people who are more hard scrabble, even in a place that requires you to work like 2 or 3 different jobs. We have watched this state become essentially unlivable for working class people, and it makes me deeply angry. I'm Grant Plattner. The Marine Corps veteran oyster farmer running for Senate in Maine to defeat Susan Collins. I did 4 infantry tours in the Marine Corps and the Army. I'm not afraid to name an enemy. It's the billionaires and the politicians who sell us out. Susan Collins has been in charge and making policy and decisions the entire time that things have been getting worse for the working family. Nobody I know around here can afford a house. Healthcare is a disaster, hospitals are closing. We need a government that works for people like us, but you're supposed to fight for the things you love. This is our home, and I will fight tirelessly for it. For you. For me, it's Mainers first, in Maine, always. I'm Graham Platter, and I approve this message.
Come with me to a place by the sea. If the ship breaks down, you can always find me. Dirty J chilling underneath a shady tree. Our fans are always welcome with our friends and family. And if you wish, you can stay as long as you please. Just lend a helping hand to fit our camp by the sea. The every day is beautiful, the summer and the breeze. And everybody lives together here in harmony. And we'll sing just as loud as we please. And we will be forever so free. So come follow me, carried by the sea. It's you and me in the cabin by the sea. You paint the fence and hang the towel from the tree. Our friends are all around and the storm was a no-show. Said we look better in the black and white photo. Picture you and me in the cabin by the sea. Sit up on a porch and we can burn a couple trees. Our friends are all around and the storm was a no-show. Said we look better in the black and white photo. What the photograph don't show is where we're headed tomorrow. When we have to go, we'll always be together in the black and white photo. Gather up some rocks and make a circle in the sand. We'll fill it up with wood and build a fire with our hands. The smoke starts to rise, the moon starts to shine. You bring the weed, we'll bring the whiskey and the wine. And we can pass it all around until it's all gone. Put a message in the bottle, put the cork back on. We'll throw it in the sea, the message it will read. If you find the stones and notes, send another bottle. And we'll sing, we're just as loud as we please. And we will be forever so free. So come follow me, carried by the sea. It's you and me in the cabin by the sea. You paint the fence and hang the towel from the tree. Our friends are all around and the storm was a no-show. Said we look better in the black and white photo. Picture you and me in the cabin by the sea. Sit up on a porch and we can burn a couple trees. Our friends are all around and the storm was a no-show. Said we look better in the black and white photo. What the photograph don't show is where we're headed tomorrow. And when we have to go, we'll always be together in the black and white photo. Say we look better in the black and white photo. When the sun goes down, we can start a fire to sit around. When the sun goes down, we can start a fire, start a fire. When the sun goes down, we can start a fire to drink around. When the sun goes down, we can start a fire, start a fire. When the sun goes down, we can start a fire to sing around. When the sun goes down, we can start a fire, start a fire.
Muffin Man, do you know the Muffin Man who lives on the railway?
The grip you need, the stopping power you trust, and the confidence to keep you moving. Everything you need to stay road ready this spring. At Tire Warehouse, get trusted service, great offers, and easy payment options, and stay road ready. This month, save up to $120 instantly, or get up to $110 back in rebates on top brands like Goodyear, Cooper, and Continental. Plus, save $50 per axle on
Put it all together, and what do you got?
Saturday night, said who's got these books and who's got these
Spot on.
Look out the window, said to my surprise, they don't see none when he's flashing lights. He said, now, you know your body's looking over with bigger jumps, smoking guns, and your rolling splits and jumping. What you think I ought to think of this? So won't you pull out just like I said, or you will be missed.
See, Mr. Officer, come charge me all the time. I swear that it's not mine. What you do or say
is bound to come right back this way. And if you want a moment's peace, this is what you'll say. Come on and let's get this party started until the break of dawn. Let's keep this party moving until there's no rolling. Let's get this party started until the break of dawn. Let's keep this party moving. All you got to do is sing. I bet you anything they gonna get stuck and watch you roll down.
Group where the faculty went in rebellion, and I said to our president at the time, what are we going to do with this student? And he said, what do you mean? I said, here's this paper. We met with the president. I said, he does not know the English language. And he said, well, everybody had. I said, he does not know the English language. He cannot write a sentence in English. What do you want me to do with him? And I can't teach a sign reading.
Alexa, play instrumental reading music.
Starting a station for instrumental reading music on Amazon Music.
Yeah, we're just doing a continued from where we left off. Early Days in America, book number 16, page number 16. We did finish page 16. Yes, mercy, transportation, my Lord, transportation. That's how that page ended. Okay, page 17, part 3. Yes, thank you. Once in America, the colonists were face to face with a strange wilderness. To some of them, it seemed a hell on earth. Such was the opinion of those Jamestown colonists who, at Starchy Records, in his fascinating book, who has Starchy Records in his fascinating book, Strachey, S-Strachy. Such was the opinion of those Jamestown colonists who has Strachey Records in his fascinating book, were well down the river on the way home when Lord Delaware met them and ordered them back to their posts. Others, and particularly the leaders, were likely to report better things of the new country. Some were enthusiastic in praising its virtues, and there were not wanting those who discovered marvels for the delight of the uninformed in England. And some were enthusiastic in praising its virtues, and there were not wanting those who discovered marvels for the delight of the uninformed in England. Captain John Smith, in a map of Virginia, written after he left that country, seasoned sober facts with a good deal of his unfailing optimism about all that concerned colonization. The interior of Virginia, he pictured, has a pleasant land to inhabit. Within a country that may have the prerogative over the most pleasant places of Europe, Asia, Africa, or America, for large and pleasant navigable rivers, heaven and earth never agreed better to frame a place for man's habitation, being of our constitutions, were it fully manured and inhabited by its industrious people. Here are mountains, hills, plains, valleys, rivers, and brooks, all running most pleasantly into a fair bay, compassed but for the mouth with fruitful and delightsome land. In the bay and rivers are many isles, both great and small, some woody, some plain, most of them low and not inhabited. This bay lieth north and south, in which the water floweth near 200 miles. A hath a channel for 140 miles. H-A-T-H. A hath a channel for 140 miles. A depth betwixt 7 and 15 fathom, holding in breadth for the most part 10 or 14 miles. From the head of the bay at the north, the land is mountainous, and so is a manner from thence by a southwest line, so that the more southward the farther of from the bay are those mountains, from which fall certain brooks, which after come to 5 principal navigable rivers. These run from the northwest into the southeast, and so into the west side of the bay, where the fall of every river is within 20 or 15 miles one of another. The mountains are of diverse natures, for at the head of the bay, the rocks are of a composition like milestones, some of marble, and many pieces of crystal were found as thrown down by water from the mountains. Yeah, the spelling is interesting, which is pieces, P-E-E-C-E-S, rocks, R-O-C-K-E-S, crystal, C-H-R-I-S-T-A-L-L, thrown, T-H-R-O-W-N-E, thrown down by water from the mountains, M-O-N-T-A-I-N-E-S, from the mountains. For in winter these mountains are covered with much snow, and when it dissolveth, the waters fall with such violence that it causes great inundations in the narrow valleys, which yet it scarce perceived, being once in the rivers. These waters wash from the rocks such glistening tinctures that the ground in some places seemeth has gilded, where both the rocks and the earth are so splendid to behold, that better indulgements.
During this ad by saying Alexa, add to cart.
Alexa, Volume 1. That better in judgments, that better iudgements, I-U-D-G-M-E-N-T-S, that better iudgements than ours might have been persuaded, P-E-R-S-W-A-D-E-D. They contained more than probabilities. The vesture of the earth in most places doth manifestly prove the nature of the soil to be lusty and very rich. Alexa, Volume 4. The country is not mountainous, nor yet low, but such pleasant plain hills and fertile valleys, one prettily crossing another, and watered so conveniently with their sweet brooks and crystal springs, as if art itself had devised them. And doubtless the readers of that day who thought of America as a possible home for themselves read with delight Smith's generous catalogues of the rivers and trees, the many valuable products of this land. Of New England, the books written by the Puritan colonists did not at first have so many good things to say, and doubtless that country did not, in fact, possess the attractions of climate and soil that belonged to Virginia, but John Smith himself had already seen much to admire there, and later there were such flattering accounts as that of William Wood in his New England Prospect, 1634. The country that lay between the Virginia settlements and those of New England was slower in taking its place among the English colonies, partly because of the intrusion there of the Dutch. But English colonies, but even the Mayflower adventurers seem to have crossed the ocean with the intention of settling in those parts. The Mayflower, Nina Pinta Santa Maria. Yeah, we are in New England. Yes, we're in Maine. We're the most northeastern state. Even Mayflower adventurers seem to have crossed the ocean with the intention of settling in those parts. They had, in fact, a charter which was useless farther north, and according to Bradford, they were turned northwest to Cape Cod merely by accident. After After the settlement of Maryland, books by such interesting writers as Richard Alsop and John Hammond made her virtues known to the world. Hammond, in Leah and Rachel, 1656, turned from praise of Virginia to even more enthusiastic praise of Maryland, whose only defect was the heated rule of the Puritans, just then in control. Having for 19 years served Virginia, the elder sister, I, casting my eye on Maryland, the younger, grew enamored on her beauty, resolving like Jacob when he had first served for Leah, to begin a fresh service for Rachel. 2 years and upward have I enjoyed her company with delight and profit, but was enforced by reason of her unusual disturbances to leave her weeping for her children. Dutch writers told of the charm and richness of the country about the mouth of the Hudson and toward the Delaware, which their countrymen so precariously held in spite of English threats. It was, said Jacob Stendham in his spring verses, the flower, the noblest of all lands. Shortly after, the same country fell into the hands of Holland's enemies. Daniel Denton, in one of the earliest important descriptions of New York to be written in English, added to a sober, matter-of-fact account an Arcadian picture of a land of peace and plenty, following with milk and honey. But while the physical charms in various colonies were being favorably reported by many enthusiasts, there were not lacking those who painted the New World in darker colors and helped to give it an evil reputation in England. Captain John Smith thus pours out his contempt upon the many detractors of the Jamestown settlement, who he thought were responsible for the calamities that occurred there. Yet some bad natures will not stick to slander the country, that will solvently spit at all things, especially in company where they can find none to contradict them. Who thought they were scarce ever 10 miles from Jamestown, or at the most but at the falls, yet holding it a great disgrace that amongst so much action their actions were nothing, exclaim of all things, though they never adventured to know anything, nor ever did anything but devour the fruits of other men's labors, being for most part of such tender educations and small experience in martial accidents, because they found not English cities, nor such fair houses, nor at their own wishes any of their accustomed dainties, with feather beds and down pillows, taverns and alehouses in every breathing place, neither such plenty of gold and silver and dissolute liberty as they expected, had little or no care of anything, but to pamper their bellies, to fly away with our penances, or procure their means to return for England, for the country was to them a misery, a ruin, a death, a hell, and their reports here, and their own actions there, according. As for New England, Bradford, years after Plymouth was established, confided to his journal this gloomy picture of the land with which the pilgrims stood face to face after surviving the perils of the sea. Yeah, we love reading about these histories. They're interesting and fun to learn about. It seems a lot of this stuff gets left out of our education systems, which is really fun to learn about as far as the development of the land with which we live, the planet we're on, the bodies we're in. I don't know, it seems so many people if they even stumble across this stuff, they really don't get the gist of it, or attach to some meaning or specialness, or use it as a justification or reason to cast or praise. Well, praising would be casting judgment as well, right? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I get what you meant. You got what I meant too? Oh, okay. Yeah, to bring an understanding. To bring an understanding and have an appreciation is really, I guess, what the subject matter is all about, or why to even learn about or read anything, I guess. Just for entertainment. And it is entertaining in and of itself, yeah. It's kind of exciting, especially to have access to such informational sources. I mean, not to use the old coined phrase, when I was a kid, yeah, you know, we had encyclopedias and stuff. We didn't have little devices we could just look anything up with. And that alone, just that, how incredible it is to look up a word, to be able to identify a plant. How cool that is, entertaining and fun, and how it helps us too with, yeah, it could prevent us from going into a patch of poison ivy. Who knows? Or let us know to be careful. Just expose a little bit. Build that immunity.
Hey, weekend warriors. How's a little trail therapy sound?
Alexa, volume 1. Is there a vaccine for poison ivy? Brown moth. Right, and when you get rashes or a mosquito bite, you know, you might get a little red bump, itchy. Okay, that's, you know, it happens. Yeah, you can prevent the amount of bites you get just from, yeah, some use bug spray. Some like to use essential oil sprays, which I think work just as great, if not better. Yeah, it really depends. It actually really depends. I mean, if I were, you know, going to be on a boat in the middle of a still pond, fly fishing, and there was a lot of frickin' mosquitoes around, I'd be like, cover me in DEET, okay? Right. I mean, just be rational. Dip me in it, you know, just dip me right in the DEET before I go out there. I'd rather deal with the symptoms of too much DEET than what I might contract from being attacked by thousands of mosquitoes. It could just be uncomfortable. Like chicken pox, you know? Right, these things are so easy and simple to understand, and it's fun to learn about and to laugh kind of about the misconceptions. I mean, you can go back to, what's his name, playing with the refrigeration and the chickens and learning about ammonia, streptococcus or something. Francis Bacon. Right, see, it's fun to learn about these things, but a lot of business people don't like it, you know, like meat and dairy and big pharma people. Once you start connecting these things, they just get real. And then when they can't do it, and they're promoting Botox and fucking with the funding and targeting innocent people, yeah, we got a fucking problem, folks. I don't care who the hell you work for.
Right, so anyways, yeah, my name's Mary. We're at the Governor Hill Mansion in Augusta, Maine. I have 4 children here. My youngest 2 are in the hands of sick, murderous pedophiles. So hopefully the proper authorities can help us educate the public as to how they've already gotten away with it and fed out those things to the investigators and feeders and chasers. I mean, you have all these really big groups and lines and networks connected to this. I'm not sure. I know people are... Don't try to waste your breath convincing them. We've shown you what that does and how that just becomes another business. Right, and along the way, it's helped brought a lot more teams on board because they probably wouldn't have come on board if they had actually known the truth, right? And you know that too. A lot of them will admit it too. Like, yeah, I probably wouldn't have even bothered to look at that one if I had known the actual truth. And you can see how you couldn't have known the truth with the information that you had at the time, and it couldn't be any other way, and we're here and now. So hopefully the proper authorities do what they can to help us. Those young children that are in the custody of that sick fuck, Michael Scott Garand. We told them in 2012 they weren't going to get away with it. And when you look at what was happening around that time, it's amazing that we've survived all this fuckery and druggies and pieces of shit doing the crap they're doing around here. And the targeting of our police officers, 2011, it's all documented. Take a look at it. And then when some of those officers, you don't need to have discussions, you don't need to know who. These are facts. When some of those officers who were being set up think they were getting called there, right? For what? No, just remember the loaded gun they were leaving around. They pawned it afterwards in Manchester, and the dog's leg blew up. Do you remember? Right, so hopefully they're realizing. Thank goodness I'm aware. Right, because, I mean, if what they were peddling and doing had panned out like it does in some situations, and the retard grabs the gun and gets scared, and you got these punks playing the games they're playing with chemicals and fear propaganda. It's all documented, you guys, very closely. And then when you see the state workers they were working with, it's not a joke. You fucking teeny boppers around here that are bulldogging for these people, and the elders that came before you that have moved away or they're dead. Dad, wake up if I were you. I strongly suggest you actually pack your shit and get the fuck out of here. And hopefully the proper authorities step in and do what they're supposed to do. It is a disgrace that any of these people are even allowed to walk free in our community with what they've been doing here to these children and the fraud they've been committing. It's not a fucking joke. So are there any reporters or investigators that would like to help us report on that and help people understand those things? Right, so thank goodness we're aware, yeah? I know for them, no, I mean, they wish we would have been stupid retards and that plan would have worked and we would be dead. Another dangerous schizo taken off the street. Alexa, volume 4. All right, we'll restart that paragraph. As for New England, Bradford, years after Plymouth was established, confided to his journal the gloomy picture of the land with which the pilgrims stood face to face after surviving the perils of the sea. But here I cannot stay and make a pause and stand half amazed at this poor people's present condition, and so I think will the reader too, when he well considers the same. I like how that's worded. And so I think, Thinke, and so I think,
will the reader too when he considers the same. But here I cannot stay and make a pause and stand half amazed at this poor people's present condition. And so I think will the reader too when he well considers the same. Yeah. I'm kind of distracted with the sun and my coffee. Cheers. Yeah, got my Raggedy Ann hair going, thank you. What's that? Yeah, some call it the Nut House. The Nut House Dew. The Nut House Dew. I like that. Alright, being thus past the vast ocean and a sea of troubles before their preparation, and a sea of troubles before in their preparation, has may be remembered by that which went before. (2014)
Drivers who switch to Progressive can save hundreds just by
Alexa,
bundling
volume
home and auto
1.
insurance, because you can't go wrong saving money unless you start when you get
Alexa,
to
volume 1. Being thus past the vast ocean, and a sea of troubles before in their preparations, has may be remembered by that which went before. They had now no friends to welcome them, nor inns to entertain, or refresh their weather-beaten bodies, no houses, or much less towns to repair to seek for secure. S-U-C-C-O-U-R-E, secure, succor. It is recorded in Scripture as a merci to the apostle and his shipwrecked company, that the barbarians shewed them no small kindness in refreshing them. S-M-A-L-E, no small kindness in refreshing them. But these savage barbarians, when they meet with them, as after will appear, were readier to fill their sids full of arrows than otherwise. And for the season it was winter, and they that know the winters of that country know them to be sharp and violent, a subject to cruel and fierce storms, dangerous to travel to known places, much more to stern and unknown coast, much more to search an unknown coast. Besides, what could they see but a hideous and desolate wilderness, full of wild beasts and wild men? And what multitudes there might be of them they knew not. Neither could they, as it were, go up to the top of Pisgah, P-I-S-G-A-S, P-I-S-G-A-H, P-I-S-G-A-H, Pisgah, to the top of Pisgah, to view from the wilderness a more godly country, to feed their hopes, for which way S-O-E-V-E-R, for which way soever they turned their eyes, save upward to the heavens. They could have little solace or contact in respect of any outward objects. For summer being done, all things stand upon them with a weather-beaten face, and a whole country full of woods and thickets represented a wild and savage hue. If they looked behind them, there was the mighty ocean which they had passed, and now was a main bar and gulf to separate them from all the civil parts of the world. Goulfe. Even when due allowance is made for Bradford's fondness for the role of religious martyr, this account must remain a convincing testimony to the forbidding aspect of the Massachusetts wilderness in 1620. Better equipped and better supported in England, the Massachusetts Bay Puritans who came in 1630 and the following years found the conquest of the wilderness a less serious task than did Bradford and his companions of the comparatively unimportant Plymouth colony. Yet, even so, the spokesmen of the first generation of the men of the Bay like to think of themselves as exiles in a strange land, suffering for the sake of religion, pure and undefiled. Many of their friends in the old country came to doubt the wisdom of the choice of New England as the best available field for Puritan colonization. And according to Roger Williams, and you think in those times, of course, depending on what you had for resources in today's times, a lot of obstacles are kind of not even there as far as having a shelter, heat, travel, being able to withstand the elements. A lot of that, you didn't have car seats back then, Cordless telephones, CDs, they didn't exist. Radios, Let's see. Puritan colonization, and according to Roger Williams, even so influential a man as Oliver Cromwell regarded that part of America with an eye of pity as poor, cold, and useless, and thought it would have been better to transplant the colony to some inviting clime, such as might be found in the West Indies, where British settlements were already flourishing. Turn it around that way. Ends really. The general physical aspect of the New World, however, interested early colonial writers scarcely more did the wildlife to be found in its waters and forests. From Smith's time on through the 17th and even the 18th century, extensive descriptions of animal life were published in many books. Many of these descriptions were the work of sober-minded men with an eye simply to the facts. Captain John Smith's account of these beasts, birds, and fishes of Virginia, though it may arouse some doubts as to the accuracy of the writer's observation or information, was probably intended as an honest report of what prospective colonists might expect to find. At any rate, such descriptive catalogues of wildlife as he supplied came to be characteristic material for books on America. Sometimes, however, even such obviously serious-minded men as the authors of the so-called Mort's Relation might record strange things, confessedly beyond the limits of their knowledge, but not of their belief. Thus, they tell the story of certain men lost in the woods who spent the night in an agony of fear because of what they thought was the roaring of lions. But, says the book, it pleased God so to dispose that the wild beasts came not. Other writers, however, announced with slight regard for the truth the wholesale discovery of animals new and strange, or recorded observations that afforded interesting proof of many of the commonplaces of the pseudo-natural history that modern Europe had inherited from earlier ages. Among writers of American travel literature with a bent towards natural history, the obscure John Jocelyn doubtless came nearest to the high standards set by the Old World author of The Travels of Sir John Mandeville. Jocelyn exhibited, in a high degree, a quality which may denounce as mere credulity or mendacity, but perhaps more justly praised as a sense of humor coupled with a laudable desire to entertain. New England rarities discovered in birds, beasts, fishes, serpents, and plants of that country, 1672, has much to recommend it to the modern reader. One may learn here, for example, of those rare New England swallows, which, after nesting in a chimney, never fail to throw down one of their young birds by way of showing their gratitude. Porcupines that practice the warlike art of shooting their quills at their enemies, and the pond frog, which chirp in the spring like sparrows and croak like toads in autumn. Some of those, when they set upon their breech, are a foot high. The Indians will tell you that up in the country there are pond frogs as big of a child as that year old. The big bullfrogs, I've seen some of those big bullfrogs can get pretty big. A second book of American travel by the same author, called An Account of Two Voyages to New England, added some new materials to Jocelyn's natural history collections. Here appears the story of his first acquaintance with a hornet's nest, which he painfully discovered was not, as he at first suspected, a new variety of fruit, like a pineapple. A young lion, a sea serpent, and a triton are other wonders he reports but did not see for himself. One, Mr. Mitten, is credited with having seen the triton, or merman, in Casco Bay. This gentleman, says Jocelyn, was a great fowler, and used to go out with a small boat or canoe, and fetching a compass about a small island, there being many small islands in the bay, for the advantage of a shot, was encountered with a triton, who, laying his hands upon the side of the canoe, had one of them chopped off with a hatchet by Mr. Mitten, which was in all respects like the hand of a man. The triton presently sunk, dying in the water with his purple blood, and was no more seen. Ocean dwellers? Oh yeah, I can imagine. And historically, when you get into reading other stories, people traveling from other lands being absolutely amazed at how people could even swim or go into those waters and swimming just like the fishes. Incredible. Right, and I'm sure, you come out of the water after being in the cold water for a while, different skin colorations, turn purple, blue, get all pruny. Yeah, it depends, right? Someone in class, we had done that one time where they were saying, I can't remember the papers they were reading, I can't remember, it was some rabbit hole they were talking about, anyways, as to why the fingers prune in the water. Someone saying it's so you can grip the rocks better.
Right, well, the cold and heat, how it kind of condenses and extracts. You know, when the seasons change and the temperature, and sometimes you can almost hear and feel some places creaking and cracking and shifting and expanding. Doors will open and close easier or harder depending on what time of year it is. I know sometimes they just fly right open. And then other times they're jammed shut. That door always sticks and I have to tug on it. Something funny's going on. It's called temperature regulation. The foundation, the heat expands, and the cold. Never mind. Just, you know what, believe that it's a ghost and the place is haunted and special. You need to run for your life or attract visitors. Whatever you gotta do, it's okay.
Again and again, in the course of the second book, Jocelyn pauses to reprove his readers for the infidelity which, he says, he expects as a reward for his pains in presenting his marvels to the world. He professes a righteous contempt for those people who, never stirring from home themselves, have the impudence to criticize the narratives of the greatest travelers. He writes for no such readers. Of fools and madmen, then, I shall take no care. I will not invite these fools and madmen. I will not invite these in the least to honor me with a glance from their supercilious eyes. This homely piece, I protest ingeniously, is prepared for such only who well know how to make use of their charitable constructions towards works of this nature, to whom I submit myself in all my faculties, and proceed in my second voyage. Again he returns to charge with, methinks I hear my skeptic readers muttering out of their scuttle-melts, I have done what I can to please you. I have piped and you will not dance. I have told you as strange things as ever you or your fathers have heard. As long before he reaches the end of his book, he announces that it is his last, that he is determined to squander no more effort in an attempt to entertain an unappreciative world. Henceforth, you are to expect no more relations from me. I am now returned into my native country, and by the providence of the Almighty, and the bounty of my royal sovereignness, am disposed to a holy quiet of study and meditation for the good of my soul.
Oh, it was probably, making him sick, to be hearing, seeing, and experiencing such things. Some which he did not see himself, and he, professed that and would just recount others' tales and sounds and visions and what some might believe, and was probably trying to bring forth some of the superstitions or stories put upon things that were more simple. Like Sasquatch stories, Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, ghosts, aliens, possessions, things like that. Yeah, exactly. So it drives you mad. That's why the Mad Men reference to a lot of that. We'll have a very merry on birthday, Mad Hatter. All right. Quiet of study and meditation for the good of my soul. Right, now can you imagine maybe if some of his children, what if the children were in the hands of some of those beasts? And they were still alive and he could save them. I know, would it have been so easy? Right, you can take different examples to try to bring an understanding to different situations. Right, if they're dead, why bother? They're making a business out of this. They get t-shirts and everything. Alright, you could really time and space. Where are you landing, Bill and Ted? It's totally tubular. The wildlife of New England waters and forests appears in somewhat more realistic guise in Williams Wood's New England Prospect. Oh, you can see so many people, some people are bringing up Sadhguru, Gad Sad. We just listened to him earlier this morning. Beautiful people, levels of awareness, right? They're different situational things. So can you see how they speak upon the same things? So that level is there to try to bring forth the understanding and the teachings of things of the body, mind, soul, earth, environment, taking care, hygiene, proper care, so you can grow food. And it will just make everything in a lab. It's okay, problem solved, right? That's okay, we'll just make electric cars. We don't need gas and oil. Yeah, it's problem solved. We'll just go to Mars. Yeah, totally fine, no problem. Yeah, you're dealing with a level. So these people know that, and they're showing you this. There's a lot of billionaires and good people of all income status levels that are rich in knowledge and an understanding of the importance of, not taking those things for granted. I think it's beautiful and incredible when you really think about it. The level of awareness for people. And when you see the ones that are trying to speak upon those things to help bring through those understandings, which affects allocations, funding, what we talk about, teach, learn, breathe, eat, drink, and be merry. Or not. Seems like they've been getting attacked over the years too. I know, when you see the different groups and the funding and the charities attached to those people too, you really start to see it. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, to not let it drive you mad, or to be able to be sane and rational in the mad world. Exactly. To not blame that it's a mad world and use it as justification to commit crimes and violence upon others. Exactly. You got it. It's beautiful. Thank you. The wildlife of New England waters and forests appears in somewhat more realistic guise in Williams Wood's New England Prospect. The best passages in which effectively describe the birds and fishes, sometimes, however, with a pretty obvious leaning on conventional nature, lore, rather than with any display of first-hand observation. There are the princely eagle and the soaring hawk, whom in their unknown ways there's none can chalk, and the humbird, for some queen's rich cage more fit than in the vacant wilderness to sit. The humbird, Humberd, more stiffly conventional is the silver swan that turns her mournful breath to sing the dirge of her approaching death. Perhaps Spenser contributed half a line to these verses on New England fishes. The king of waters,
the sea-shouldering whale, the snuffing grampus with the oily seal, O-Y-L-Y, with the oily seal. These watery villagers, with thousands more, do pass and repass near the verdant shore. Among his prose passages in the doubtful allusion to the lion at Cape Ann and an old one in Virginia who was helpless because he had lost his jackal, and there is this lively description of a porcupine. The porcupine is a small thing not much like a hedgehog, something bigger, who stands upon his guard and proclaims a noli me tangiri, to man and beast that shall approach to near him, darting his quills into their legs and hides. There were other writers who dwelt perhaps unduly upon the richness of the wild life in the new country that might supply food and commodity for commerce to the prospective immigrant. Stendhal, in his poem The Complaint of New Amsterdam, tells of the rivers pouring in the sea, rich in fish beyond degree, and in the praise of New Netherland, he enthusiastically lists the inhabitants of the waters of his fortunate colony. Sometimes his catalogue of beasts and birds is remarkable for its vivid description. There are the elk, the hind and hart, which fleeing bound far in the forest depths. And there are found, and when at last they feel the fatal wound, die hard and crying. Of birds there is a knavish robbing crew, which constantly the smaller tribes pursue. The hawk and eagle swoop the azure blue, with sharp eyes prying. But perhaps most enthusiastic of such descriptions in Stendhal, if one may judge by Henry C. Murphy's translations, is this one in the spurring verses, written for use in a propagandist pamphlet designed to aid a scheme then afoot for a new Dutch settlement in America. The birds obscure the sky, so numerous in their flight. The animals roam wild and flatten down the ground. The fish swarm in the waters and exclude the light. The oysters there, then, which none better can be found, are piled up, heap on heap, till islands they attain. We'll pause there on page 23. Yeah, section 4 is next. Welcome. Alexa, volume 5.
The promise we first made to our family dog, Blue. Everything is made with high-quality, natural ingredients and real meat first. And just for Pet Month, we put together an interactive pet game for you, filled with fun facts and new food.
We made such a yummy soup yesterday with farro and the faux bras with veggies and that sausage. It's a plant-based sausage. So good.
Don't forget to look for me, Mati Shoshani, and Yael Pinto on social media, so you can get a view through our eyes of what it's like to live in Israel under war. Right now, Israel is still managing several campaigns. I want to invite you to take part in something real, something rooted in the land and in the heart. The Rebuild Israel campaign continues, bringing life back to Israel's north. Along Israel's northern border, an area marked by war, displacement, and loss, we're planting an apple orchard, not as a symbol of a single moment, but as part of a long-term commitment to rebuild what was damaged. This orchard is more than agriculture. It creates jobs for local families. It helps communities rebuild